Well, a couple of little updates, guys, that we wanted to throw out to you guys. I don't know if you guys, for those of you, and some of you guys stay logged in for like days at a time, and then for those of you that just logged in, you'll actually see a new what we call SEM Central, which is a new login page. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. I tried to ask a couple of times in the chat, and everybody just kind of went right over it. But you know, there was a lot of questions. There was a lot of discussions in reference to, you know, new users coming in, you know, the funnel flow, you know, I don't really know what to do. I don't know where anything is. We tried to address a lot of that. Unfortunately, you know, it takes time. So we were getting beat up on a couple of days ago, but we were taking that time. We were actually in the process during that time to try and get a couple of different things going and flowing, so it would be a little bit easier. So if you actually go into the forum, under the, I think it's the first one in the forum, there's like a getting started section for those of you that are brand new. There was a video that we put in if anybody has a question about installing the SEM plugin. Not only that, but for those of you that don't know, the new SEM plugin actually went up yesterday, and it's a hell of a lot easier. Now you can install extensions and everything else right from the plugin. You don't have to download extensions anymore. Any new extensions will automatically be pushed out into that SEM plugin for you to automatically install. And you should be good to go. Also, there were questions about the difference between SEMeasy and SERP Landlord. There's a video in there that explains all of that. But you know what? We're running now about 10 minutes after the fact. So I just want to jump in and get started because I know that a lot of you guys, you know, we've been talking about the PBNs. We kind of wanted to wrap up the conversation, at least at this level, and get you guys rocking and rolling, right? So you got everything up till this point, and now what you have is you probably have a couple of domains. You need some content, and you know you're going just lead me over the finish line. So here we go. All right. So this webinar today about free content for your PBNs and link structure. And we're also going to talk about how you can use some of this content to dominate the SERPs. We figured we'd throw that in there a little bit, even though we're going to have a much larger training about that in about 2 weeks or so. It's actually on the calendar, so you know, you guys can check that out. So we're going to start this off just for the basics. For those of you that are just getting started with PBNs, private blog networks, for those of you that have been around the block for a while, and for those of you that have been around the block for a while, I mean, I've been around the block for a while, and I learned a couple of really cool things from somebody just a little while back that now we use on a regular basis, and it was amazing, and I didn't even know that it was available. So why do we need content? It's a pretty easy question, right? Content makes our web property relevant, right? So we know that all of the links, all of the sites that we want linking back to our money site should be relevant in reference to what we're trying to rank for. And Google needs to consume this content in order to determine whether it's relevant or not. There's nothing on the page, and I'll tell you, those skeleton sites, right? You guys remember the skeleton sites, or some of you do. We used to just be able to put up pages that just had a title and like nothing else, and the pages would rank. But the problem is those aren't going to pass relevant link juice from one page back to yours. So you really need some good, rich content on there. All right, you're going to want like 750 to 1,000 words of relevant content sitting on your private blog network, shooting back to you. Okay. What's the downfalls of getting content? Now, this is really the crux of it all, right? So, unfortunately, let's face it, if we want to go out, we want to get unique content, because everybody's screaming unique content. Matt Cutts is screaming unique content. Everybody and their mother is screaming unique content. The SEO granolas out there are screaming, you got to have unique content, otherwise visitors won't come, which is actually bullshit, but whatever. But you do need, you know, different content from each one of your private blog networks pointing back to yours. Now, that's just a fact, okay? You can't put the same article on all of those sites and link them back to yours and think that it's going to do you good. It's actually going to cream you. So, right? So, yeah, unique content. I love that. The only thing you need to rank is put up unique content, and visitors will just flock to your website, because that's what they do. You put up unique content, and the unique content police goes out there, makes an announcement, and says, hey, unique content is here. You guys got to come and check it out. Well, we all know that that doesn't work, okay? That's just not the way that it works, okay? But you do need relatively unique content, but at the end of the day, as long as it's relevant, it doesn't matter, all right? But the problem is that if you want to go out there and you want to hire a writer, okay, the writers cost money, okay? And the more content you need, the more money you got to spend. Well, for me, it's really not as much about the money, it's about the time, okay? When I decide that I need content, I don't want to wait a day or two for a content writer to come up with something, okay, because it just stops my whole workflow. I mean, it stops everything to a screaming halt. And when that happens, I lose money, okay? Because my most precious commodity in the world is time, all right? I don't have time to wait for content, because the longer I have to wait for content, the less money I can actually make. Once again, time is my most valuable commodity right now, okay? I don't have enough hours in the day. Jake and I were here in the office until about 4 o'clock in the morning last night, and then left to go out into some typhoon that was going on outside. I mean, Gilligan and his friends, for those of you that okay, I'm dating myself a little bit, but Gilligan and his friends also, it was a 3-hour tour for them. All right, so, time is just not something that I have anymore. So there's got to be a solution, right? Well, I'll let you see the slide. Solution? Give me the solution. All right, so the solution is spinning content, okay? And I know you've heard this before, and I know that all the naysayers, and I can't even believe I said naysayers, but I was trying to keep it as PG as humanly possible, all right? So many people are out there going, man, you can't spin content, spun content won't rank. Well, you know what? I got about 1,000 sites that say differently, okay? Between myself and some of my colleagues, we have about 9,000 websites, would you say, Jake?
Yeah.
They rank with spun content. So, anybody who sits around and says, you can't rank with spun content, okay?
That's 9,000 sites, each with 300 pages,
Right.
300,000 pages.
300,000 pages, 9,000 sites, okay? The problem is that most people that turn around and say, you need unique content, you can't spin it. They're parrots, okay? And I hate SEO parrots. An SEO parrot is somebody who hears something somewhere and just passes it along without checking out anything, without testing it, without anything to back it up, okay? And my attitude is I will go up against any single person in the entire world, okay, that says that, you can't rank with spun content, and I can show them wrong every single day, all right? So for those people that say, oh, you can't rank with spun content, honestly, just look at them, laugh, and say, continue paying for your content and go on your merry way, knowing that damn well that you can, all right? So at the end of the day, it's only better for me if people think that they got to go out there and buy content, okay? That means they're spending money on content when I could be spending money on domains. The major issue with spun content is that most people don't understand how to spin content the right way, okay? We're going to show you the way it works and the way that we do it on a day in and day out basis, okay? The most valuable, this is truly one of the most valuable skills that either you have to possess it, and then you can teach it to like one of your VAs, because this is not something that I like to do on a regular basis, but it is something that I'm constantly testing all the time. But it isn't something that I sit around and go, okay, you know what? I got to get content. I tee it up to my VAs. I go, dude, get me some content. And he comes back to me in about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and says, here it is. And I'm on my way. All right. So we're going to move forward, and we're going to show you exactly how to do that. But honestly, you have to learn how to do this yourself before you can teach anybody else how to do it. For those that are looking at their screen right now going, wow, this is all really fun, this is really all exciting, but I don't even know what the hell spun content is, I'm just going to give a real quick down and dirty version of what it is. All right? So if we look at this top sentence right here, and let me see if I love the little drawing tools. Let me jump in here, right? So you see the word the. Well, this word is not going to be spun, okay? But these little brackets here are indicating that the words within the brackets, okay, and separated by the pipes, are going to be spun, okay? And basically all the word spinning or spun content is that it will replace one word with any other word that you put in the middle of those brackets, and you separate with the pipes, okay? So the word dog, canine, or puppy, all of them make sense. And the reason why I jumped on dog this morning was because myself and Jake's dog, Floyd, we were hanging out here today in the office this morning, and he was actually kind of tired. So I just use this as my example sentence, and a little shout out to Floyd, who's hanging out with us here today.
We'll have to get him on camera one of these days.
Yeah.
Really, you're gonna switch over to webcam.
So
Later.
yeah. So basically what you have here is, right, you got like the dog, canine, puppy, is, and once again, is not going to be spun out. The word tired, exhausted, poop, they all mean the same thing, right? So basically it will give us this, right? The dog is tired, the canine is tired, the puppy is pooped, the puppy is exhausted, the canine is tired, I already said that one, the canine is pooped. And now just understand that the more words that you put into those brackets, but they have to make sense within the context of the context of the sentence, the more spun that content is going to be, okay? So with the proper unspinning tool, or with the proper spinning tool that has an unspinning tool, built into it, each time that the content is generated, it's going to be different, okay? But Google doesn't rank spun content, because that's what we hear all the time. Well, just wrong. Period. The end. It's just wrong. All right. The next question, right? Exactly. 9 possible sentences from 1. And when we're done spinning our content, and I'm done showing you guys how we spin our content, we get billions of unique results based on the piece of content that we throw in. All right. So. Sound is gone. Can anybody else hear me? Or did I lose everybody? Okay, working for you. Yeah, Nick, log out, jump back in. All right. So the next question is always, and I get this a ton, which service should I use, right? And there's a lot of different spinners out there, and there's a lot of different choices for you, okay? Now, I've landed on one. I use Spin Rewriter, all right? Let me just hear from the chat if anybody has Spin Rewriter. I know there's the Best Spinner, there's Chimp Spinner. I mean, there's a ton of them out there. All right, good. So there's a lot of people here that have Spin Rewriter. And the reason I like Spin Rewriter is because Aaron was really good about being able to create an algorithm that actually read the sentence and understood the context of the sentence, so it understood what the synonyms that were going to be put into those spun brackets were supposed to be. All right. So, I was having some issues with the Best Spinner, but once again, that was a long time ago, and I'm sure that things have gotten much better there. And Jonathan Ledger actually puts out some really good things also, and I know that he's been working on things, and so this is like not a knock. But basically what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you the down and dirty of Spin Rewriter, and with just a couple of different little tweaks, I was able to get some phenomenal results out of this, okay? So let's just take a quick look here. All right, so shut up and show me already, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over here, and I'm going to do a screen share here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But just give me 1 second. I'm just going to get Spin Rewriter popped up here, and I'm just going to get logged in so all of you guys don't grab my key, my password and everything else. And
it's not like we did a good job keeping your email address a secret either.
Okay, so all right, so let's take a quick look here.
All right, just a second as I set Andrew up here, guys. Allow Java to access his screen here, and it's going to take a second to boot up.
And as soon as you guys can see my screen, just let me know.
Andrew, you're next on the list for a new computer. You just got a...
Oh. I just got a new computer, too.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, so there we go. I think you guys should be able to start seeing my screen now, correct? You see the screen. And I got the big Yeti mic staring at me. For those of you guys that have been on past webinars, and you guys will know what I'm talking about, we got this huge Yeti-looking microphone, and we had to buy a windscreen. First of all, because a lot of you guys were saying that it sounded like that we were sneezing or coughing or spitting into the mic, but I couldn't even stare at this thing freaking staring at me anymore. All right, so you guys can see my screen here. So I'm going to need a couple of things, all right? I'm just going to get them ready for myself. I'm going to open up Notepad, all right? And I'll explain why I have Notepad. So let's do this. Let's figure out, you guys throw out the topic of what you want me to get some content on, and I'll show you guys how we're going to get some good, unique content. Jellyfish raising. Anything other than Nick's jellyfish raising?
That's just going to be nonsensical sentences already. We're not going to be able to compare how good it is. Alex. Moon landings. Moon landings is a good one. Maybe not. I like moon landings. Well, I mean, how about a business-oriented one? Something that we could be targeting in like a local serve. Dog training, perfect.
All right.
I like dog training.
All right, so okay.
Eliza, you just earned yourself 10 points.
The site's downloading malicious software.
We're not allowed.
All right.
All right.
So okay, let's jump in on. Let's just land on dog training because I know there's like going to be a ton of information out there about it. All right, so the first thing we want to do, and I'm looking for a noiseless mouse. Anybody, you can see it right up here in my little thing, okay? I need a noiseless mouse if anybody has any good recommendations, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump over to Qzx900 articles just because I like them. You can use any content anywhere. We like to jump on Qzx900 articles a little bit. You said dog training first. Okay. So let's just go over to Qzx900. What we're going to want to do is I'm going to want to grab like maybe two to three or maybe even 4 articles. Let's just take a look here. Dog training. All right, here we go. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is, obviously, I could just go to Qzx900. I could type in whatever I want to type in. I'm not going to go to the first page, and the reason I don't go to the first page is because these articles have already been pulled several times. You know, a lot of times the reason why the article is sitting here on the first page is because of the amount of views that it's gotten, which also means that people have probably tried to grab the article and rip it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just shoot out to page like 7, okay? All right, so here, let's start with this, okay? I just landed on this one, dog training, how to train your dog to stay off the bed, even if he has slept there since he's a puppy, all right? I'm going to look at this content, and I'm not thrilled about the content just because it has like a 1, a 2, a 3, and you'll understand why in a second. So let me back out of here again. Let me try and find a different article. Dog trip. Okay, this is a good one because it doesn't have like those bullet points in it. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a section of this article till about here, because to me it really doesn't make a difference how much of the article I grab. All right. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to Control-C or copy. I'm going to open up Notepad and I'm going to drop it in here. Now, Qzx900 was pretty slick. What Qzx900 does is they automatically embed the article source code right in there. And the reason that they do that is because Qzx900 has been linked back to so many times that then they can try and figure out. You'll notice that link is different than the link on the front end. And they do that because then they can go out and try and figure out who's linking back to their articles and stuff like that. All right. So I just grabbed this, and basically I'm just going to leave a couple of spaces here. Just so you know, because I'm looking at my screen, I can't see the chat. So if there's anything, Jake, that's going on, just let me know.
All right.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in. I'm just going to back out. I'm going to go, I'm going to scroll down here a little bit more. Dog training and overview. Let's just grab this. All right, let's just grab a good portion of this article. I must have missed some of that last article. I guess I missed the J and the just. I'm going to pop this up here. I'm going to delete the article source. All right. Now, so far, it looks like I have a pretty decent size article, but I'm not done yet. I'm going to go back in here one more time. We're going to go to over here. I don't want to do shock collars. Training the dog to heel. Dog training tips. House pooping continues. Had the same problem with Jake for a long time until he got housebroken. Now he's doing just fine. He doesn't poop on the rug anymore. All right, so what I'm going to do is, okay, now once again, this has bullet points, so I'm going to stay away from it. It has like the 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go out here. No, this has right off the top 5 dog training benefits. So I know that right off the bat is going to have bullet points as well. Here we go. Here's a decent article. All right, I'm going to grab this article. So now I have a lot of content here, guys. I don't even know how many words this is. If I wanted to check it out, I could. If I wanted to check it out, let me just get rid of that. Want to check it out, I could just open up, like, let's say Microsoft Word or something, right? And I could just copy, put this in here, and I got 1,000 words, so this is pretty good, okay? Gives me a good idea of, it's going to give me that 750 words that I was looking for. All right, so everybody's still following me here? Let's just go back here. Yeah, I used to spend a lot more than that on content. Actually, Faith over at the Content Authority was actually on my cell phone. I had a personal account in Content Authority and I got great rates there too. And they're actually great content writers.
We actually have the owner now on our cell phone.
Yeah, but now I actually got the owner on my cell phone. Sean, and he's a great guy too. If any of you guys ever want to get some content written, I definitely would highly recommend them. And once again, you guys know when we recommend anything, we don't recommend anything with an affiliate. Like for instance, I'm telling you about Spin Rewriter. I don't recommend it as an affiliate link. The goal is not to make money. If I'm going to tell you that this is something that I use, go out there and buy it. Or don't buy it. Either way, it doesn't matter. But the whole point of it is we're trying to be genuine as far as. We have no skin in the game, and these are in fact the tools that we use every day. So we just share it and say, look, this is the tools we use. If you want to use it, that's great. All right. So what I'm going to do is when I pulled that content out and I put it into Notepad, the reason I put it into Notepad is, can somebody tell me the reason why I put it into Notepad? I know that you guys are pretty smart out there. And by the way, tomorrow we're having that launch party, and we're going to have stuff just like this where I'm going to be asking some questions. And if you guys get it right, then, there's going to be some cash prizes. We're going to give away some free memberships. We're actually starting to launch out Seme-Easy tomorrow. So, strips the formatting. There you go. Gets rid of all the hidden stuff, takes the coding out, removes the format. Bam, you guys are right. All right. So whoever would have answered the first would get, $25 or $50 tomorrow. Okay. So something like that. Unfortunately, it's not today. So, but that doesn't mean that we don't love you. So, all right, so exactly. It strips the formatting out. All right? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to paste it into Notepad, then I'm going to copy and paste it again back into Spin Rewriter. Here we go. So when you log into Spin Rewriter, this is the screen that you actually see. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right on the Rewrite Your Articles, because, like I said, this is going to be down and dirty. We're going to do this real quick here, because I want to show you how fast it can actually work. All right? I'm going to just take my entire article, and I'm going to paste it right in here. I'm going to remove all the spaces. So now this is all just sitting here unformatted in in my spin rewriter. All right? So now I can do a bunch of different things. I can either rewrite a single article or I can rewrite multiple articles. Okay? We're just going to hold off on that for now. All right? Because really, this is the part that I really wanted to show you because I didn't know this. I actually went through training a while back for Magic Submitter, and there was a guy that taught me on Magic Submitter, and please forgive me because I don't remember his name, but I don't recommend Magic Submitter anymore, as I don't recommend SE Nuke or XRummer and stuff like that anymore, because with simply just a couple of PBNs, just a couple of private blogs, and a good hardcore press release, and some, if you're trying to rank something local, some good local, some good on-site SEO, some schema markup, boom, you're freaking ranking. Every single time you're ranking. Magic article rewriter, yeah, I mean, that was okay, but it doesn't do what Spin Rewriter does. And I'm going to show you the magic of Spin Rewriter right now. So what we did was we took all of these articles, right, and we mashed them up. So now I got a pretty big article, okay? I didn't just take one article and decide to rewrite it. I took a whole bunch of articles and decided to rewrite it. Now, what I would do in some cases if I wanted to, if I had a VA doing this, I would tell them, listen, take 6 articles. I want, 2 paragraphs from each one of those articles and just kind of mix it all up, okay? Don't stack one on top of the next like I did here. Take, 1 paragraph, then take another paragraph and slap it in there, go to another article, take another paragraph. And this way you know that you're getting completely unique articles, okay? Because I'm only taking a section from here and a section from here and a section from here and a section from here. Next thing you know, it's unique. But within Spin Rewriter, what I want to do is, it asks me right here, it says, would you like to spin your original text on paragraph and sentence level? Now, the original spinning, and the spinning that doesn't work, okay, is when I'm only spinning out words. So, for instance, that example I showed you earlier about, the dog is tired, the canine is pooped, okay? If I was only spinning out those words, yes, Google can read that, all right? But when I'm mashing up an article, and now I'm spinning things on a paragraph and sentence level, okay? So basically what that means is, and I'm going to use down here as an example. It would be like this. This time we're using sentence 1. This time we're using sentence 2. This time we're using sentence 3. Okay.
But sentence 1 is also being
right. But sentence 1 is also being spun inside. So is sentence 2, and so is sentence 3. Okay. And the same thing with the paragraph. All right. So understand exactly paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3.
So it's a multi-tiered spinning process.
So it's spinning it on every different level which it possibly can. As Jake is saying, it's a multi-leveled spinning process, okay, which is really pretty wild. I would love Google to spend the time and the processing power trying to undo all the spinning that I did to find out that my little tiny article wasn't 100% unique. All right, and at the end of the day, once again, it's just not going to happen. So that's the reason why Spin Rewriter works so well. That's the reason why these settings work so well. So here, let me just show you. And what we're going to do is we're going to leave this up here so we can compare it to it later on. All right. So in the settings here, what I want to do is I want to click on, would you like to spin your original text on the paragraph and sentence level? Yes. Before I knew what this was, I was spinning all wrong. I want all of these checked. I want Spin Rewriter to automatically rewrite complete sentences, entire paragraphs. I want it to write additional paragraphs on its own. I want Spin Rewriter to automatically change entire structure of sentences and phrases. Yep, that's exactly what I wanted to do. I mean, I'm feeling lucky. Go ahead. Actually, don't click on the I'm feeling lucky. I'm just feeling lucky right now. So I'm going to click on the start rewriting process. All right, and now Spin Rewriter is going off and it's doing its thing, okay? It's going through, and pretty soon you're going to start seeing the content right up here. You can see my mouse. It's going to start changing here. But what it's doing right now is it's analyzing the crap out of everything, okay? So what we're seeing right now is that this first sentence is probably going to stay the same, and now you're seeing like double brackets, which means that it's going to spit out sentences and also paragraphs as well, okay? So right now I'm looking through here, and it's looking pretty good to me. But what we're going to do, though, is we are not done yet. I'm just going all the way down through here. Okay, so right now here, my uniqueness stats, all right? I got hundreds of millions of possibilities with 99% unique content on average, and I'm not even done yet, all right? So you could take a look at the settings, all right? And what I like to do is I like to bring my settings down to only the synonyms that Spin Rewriter knows are going to be correct, okay? Not the ones that it believes, because it really has 3 levels here, right? It has a high, it has a recommended, medium, and it has a low risk, all right? And your risk is how plausible is that sentence, or how tangible is that sentence going to be at the end of the day, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on to the one-click rewrite, which gives me the same thing. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say dog training, all right? Now, this is if I want to protect this word. Now, if I don't want my main keyword to get changed anywhere in it because it's relatively unique, I put the word right in here, and now Spin Rewriter just won't touch it, okay? And this is what we used to do on a regular basis, but we actually don't do this anymore. Google is actually looking at the LSI keywords so much more now that I actually just keep this blank, because if I'm trying to rank for dog training and it's coming up as, as canine training or puppy training or whatever else, that's perfectly fine with me, okay? And Google will look at it as de-optimized content, all right? So by putting my protected keywords in there, sometimes my keyword density just gets way too high. By keeping it out, it keeps my keyword density really low and really natural, all right? So I'm actually going to keep that blank, and I'm just going to start the rewriting process. Everybody good so far, Jake?
Good.
Everybody out there, everybody good so far?
You can swap over to the other view. It's going. Right now, it's processing.
Yep, this is processing. And guys, right now, it's taking a little bit longer than it would for you guys right now, because I'm also streaming my my screen live, which takes a lot of processing power as well. Continue. When I actually use Spin Rewriter, guys, because of the level of spinning that we're doing, I actually shut down most of the processes I have.
Yeah, Andy's computer's not quite as good as mine.
Let me shut down my Skype in the meantime. There we go.
Good job.
That's all good. Okay, here we go.
Did it go? Or?
It's going. It's going.
I think it froze on you, man.
Yeah, I think it did. That's, like I said, once again, it's because I have a lot of processing going right now. Just going to give it a second.
Yeah.
Now you can see it's actually going through.
I'm Eric, and in the next 3 minutes.
As you can see, it's, there we go. Come on, baby, you can do it.
It's still going?
Yeah, it's still going. What it's doing is it's timing out like index assault.
Oh.
So I just got to keep giving it a little kickstart here. But like I said, you guys aren't going to have this issue because, once again, you're not streaming live. You know what? Let me actually do this. Jake, let me set you up as the presenter real fast. Hold on one second. Yeah, I mean, this is my processing power right now, because you can see that even just me trying to make you the presenter is giving me an issue.
Yeah.
Just take over for me.
Yeah,
Just take over for me.
Yeah, 1 minute, guys. That's actually a good point. I think your screen share is going to move.
That's fine.
Andrew's computer is like completely locked up right now. I'm gonna take control back. All right, I got control.
You got it?
I got control. Still sharing desktop. Oh, it's done. Did it finish?
Yeah.
All right, I took control back, and Andrew's computer decides to work again. Awesome. But he's still sharing his screen, so I'm just gonna have control on my end here while he's doing that.
All right, so there we go. I told you guys, we're not internet marketers, man. We're SEOs, and shit goes wrong all the time, which is part of the fun of it. And I'm looking at Jake going, Jake, I'm trying to get into the chat. I'm trying to get into the webinar. It's not working. Oh crap! No problem. Hang on 1 second. All right. But the cool thing is that we can actually fix most of it. All right. So now what you're actually going to see is you're going to see that right now we have like literally billions of different combinations of unique content. Now, if I want to do this, okay, and if I want to go ahead and I want to start, if I have, let's say, I don't know, let's say I have 10 private blog networks that, let's go with 10, right? So I got 10 private blog networks about dog training. All I got to do is I click this, and it's 90% unique when comparing it to the original text, all right? It's got Copyscape built in, which is cool, for those of you that like Copyscape, all right? I can literally take this article right now, copy, and I feel 1,000% comfortable popping it right into my WordPress and popping it right into, what is this? Let's see. I don't know what I did.
You just stopped sharing your screen.
I stopped sharing my screen. Hang on 1 second. Why?
I'm making you the presenter.
Make me the presenter.
Now you should be able to share your screen. Don't update now. Later.
All right, you guys, we're back. Here we go. All right, so I feel 1,000% comfortable with the fact of taking that content and popping it into my blog network. Now, if you want, let's take a look at it side by side. All right, here we go. All right, so this particular one, if I look at it, there's some similarities, obviously. It says you will discover a number of definitions of the word training. You'll certainly uncover a number of the meanings of the word training. That first paragraph could have probably been spun out a little bit better, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really make much of a difference to me, because if I think that whole sentence right there is not good, then what I'll do is I'll just kill it. All right. And there we go, okay? If I go back and I want to take a look at the next thing, like for instance here, firstly, that's horrible English to begin with, right? But firstly, there exists a so-called behavior training. So typically the strategy consists of a home training, decent contact near other human beings, as well as a lot of other dogs. As you can see, those sentences are like night and day from one another, because at that point it took hold of the sentence and the paragraph spinning, and it made it completely unique. So I am perfectly fine with 90% unique from my original article, and especially since I have billions of different combinations. So I'll go ahead and I could take this one right here, and I'll go ahead and post that on my private blog network. But you know what? I still have 9 others, right? I'm going to shoot back over to Spin Rewriter. It just got me a different version. I'm going to open this one up. Boom. Now I've got another version. I can just copy and paste this right into my other blog. Okay. Same thing. I could just keep going. I can keep going. And I'm good. I don't have to worry about this. I can spin this puppy out as many times as I want to, because I know I don't have billions of different blogs, okay? We've done this. The content ranks. We've saved ourselves literally thousands of dollars each month, to the point that the reason I have Sean from Content Authority on my phone is going, hey, guys, you've kind of cut down a lot on your spending. What's going on? What can we do to get you back? And what I'll actually do now is I'll go to him and I'll get an original article and I'll spin it back out if I know in advance. But the problem is that I don't have time to wait for an article to get turned around, that's going to take, a day to get turned around or whatever else through some of these content writing places, like iWriter or there's a ton of different ones, right? I used to use iWriter all the time, and then I went over to the Content Authority, but the problem was, I just didn't have time. If I had my VA do this, or even if I did it myself, I could knock this thing out in less than 10 minutes, and I have full-blown content for all of my blogs, all right? Sound good to everybody so far? Sound like it worked? Anybody skeptical? Let's go back and take a look at some of the comments. Yeah, Mark, you can actually go right. You can go to the settings and you can export it out, but I wanted to try and do this so everybody can see each version and how it gets punched out. But you can export out as many copies. Like, for instance, if I wanted to get, let's say, 20 unique copies of something, it would go to I can go to settings and I could just punch out 20 uniques. Yeah, I think I'm at the $77 a year. But I can tell you that within like my first set of articles, I've already saved myself the amount of money that it cost me for the spin rewriter. I don't like to do also, just as an aside, I know Mark threw it out, $497 for a lifetime. I'm going to be honest with you. At $77, right, a month, I'm going to have to lock myself into spin rewriter for more than that, right?
No, it's about 7 years.
About 7 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure different technology is going to come out, even maybe within the next year or two, that will probably, surpass what I'm using right now. So I would never lock myself in for $497 a lifetime. Yeah, it's $77 a year.
Yeah, not a month.
Yeah, it's not a month. It's $77 a year.
Add that plus a $50 a week VA, and
yeah, like I said, and this is something that we should actually go into as well. I have a ton of VAs. I use a lot of VAs out of the Philippines. John Jonas, I'm sure that you guys are familiar. John actually had turned the whole world on to outsourcing to the Philippines, and I actually jumped on that bandwagon a while back, and there was a lot that I've learned in the process of hiring VAs and outsourcing. A lot of headaches, a lot of heartache, but at the end of the day, you do find some great, solid people, and they're awesome. My VAs, I almost feel bad, but like I'm paying my VAs like, Jake, I don't even want to say it on air because Kathy Lee would actually, she'd call me up and be like, oh yeah, let me hire them. So, sorry if Kathy, sorry if you're on the webinar. But I think we pay our VAs like $50 to $55 a week or something. Like, it's nothing. And these guys just do all the work that I don't want to do. And a lot of this is like, mindless, copy an article, pop it in there. They tee it up into my tee it up into my my private blog network, and then they let me go. They don't hit publish, okay? They just save it as a draft. And I go in there. I always want like the final eyeballs on it before I click publish, and I put in the links the way that I want to.
Yeah, and it's not like it's slave labor either.
No, it's actually pretty decent. It's a pretty decent salary over in the Philippines.
And you're also not the only person they're working for.
And
They've got like 5 or 6 bosses.
And if you think that you're the only person that they work that you're their only boss, you're their only job, well, you're not. Hold on, what was John saying?
Okay, no.
How long are you going to use Spun content on your network? I've been using Spun content on my network for 1.5 years.
Well, we've been experimenting with it for 2.5 years. Which network?
Yeah, well, which network? My network of like landlord sites, we've been using this for
about 1.5 years.
About 1.5 years. On my private blog networks, it's been much longer than that. Like, much longer than that. Actually, not even 2.5 years, maybe even longer.
Probably. I don't know. I don't like to throw out vast exaggerations.
No, okay, let's see. Lost CF or TF? Nope, haven't lost anything. You got to remember, as far as the trust factor and the citation flow, a lot of that has to do with, once again, it's a third party metric that's used by Majestic. So I mean, even though it's great to look at, I don't put a whole lot of weight in third-party analytics and metrics, but instead, like, I'll look at the CF and TF, I'll look at the Maz rankings, I'll look at all of that, and if it all kind of makes sense across the board, then I know it's good. But I will never fall and just land on one third-party metric. Yep. Okay. So let's move on for a second, and this is something that I wanted to jump into. Okay. So this is great for private blog networks, but let's just take our mindset and let's just switch it up for a little second. All right. If I wanted to rank for something locally, okay, let's just go with I don't know. Let's say I wanted to rank in my local city, for I don't know. Give me something that I might want to rank for. I don't know, acupuncturist or something like that. Okay. Or let's say dog trainer. Okay. Let's just go with dog trainer. Okay, because we already have the content, which only makes sense. All right. So this is my unique article. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give it. Somebody throw out a city name. Let's go something outside of like New York City or like Los Angeles. Like come up with a decent sized city that that you could probably that I knew if I dominated the SERPs, I'd be able to lease that whole domination right out to somebody. Okay, Bridgeport, Connecticut. Believe it or not, let's go with Bridgeport because Bridgeport's not that far from me. Eliza, are you in Bridgeport? Oh, you were born there. Okay. Yeah, we're actually, we are about 40 minutes from Greenwich, thereabouts. So, what's that?
Slam with directories.
Yeah. Well, the SERP is slam I mean, dog training is like one of those, super stupid niches in the local. But I just wanted to show you exactly, the point here is the tactic and it's not, the keywords itself, okay? So, where are you from, Tim?
We should stop in the office one day. Yeah, if any of you guys are close by, hit us up.
Yeah, if any of you guys are close by, I mean, we're more than happy to have you come over. Ben will give you a massage and we'll make you a cup of coffee.
That depends if you're a boy or girl.
Yeah, that's for all you guys out there. Tim, where are you from?
He doesn't want to say.
He doesn't want to say?
Sorry.
All right. So anyway, let's jump back into this while we're waiting on Tim. All right. So I have this unique piece of content here, right? So this is what I would do. All right. I want to go ahead and I want to try and rank for I think we're going to go with Bridgeport, Connecticut. Okay. So my title tag would be dog training services. You got to excuse my writing because Bridgeport, Connecticut. Okay. So this is going to be my title tag, which is also, boom, it's not actually on my page at all. Okay. I'm just going to find a break here because once again, this is about speed and it's about moving forward quickly. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to make this my H2, my H2 header tag. All right. And I'm going to go with, K9, once again, I don't really know the keywords all that well, but K9, give me a couple of LSIs for dog training, just off the top of your head. Right?
Pet obedience.
Yeah, K9
obedience.
Oh, you guys are gonna kill me on this, right?
I think you spelled it right. Yeah, you got it. Teach your dog to bark. Sit. Yep.
Right, Bridgeport. And now this time I'm going to put the word Connecticut in there, the full version. All right.
Stop your dog.
All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to find another natural break. I'm going to put in my H3, and you guys start to get the idea of what the heck I'm doing here. Puppy, obedience, school, schools in Connecticut, okay. All right, so I'm going to obviously change those H2s to H3s. Yeah, Tim, you're about I don't know, 35 minutes. If you're up in Newburgh.
From me.
I actually had an office up in Newburgh for a while. I was over by, where the heck was I? Right by the backside of the airport in that big freaking building. I had an office back there for a while. Except the commute just was killing me. All right, so here, okay, so now I just want you to take a look at this, all right? We're going to talk about dominating the SERPs. So this is exactly what I did for this one, all right? Now what I can do is, on the one that I had before this article, I'm going to mix things up just a little tiny bit, and I know it sounds stupid, right? Bridgeport, Connecticut, canine training. All right, because I want to mix it up. I don't want all of my SERPs to look exactly the same. I could take this H3, I'll bring it up here. I could change this out, and I'll make it, puppy training schools, okay? I'll change this up. And this is honestly how we would create landlord sites on the local level manually, okay? And it was painstaking, okay? But if you wanted to own one SERP locally for what you want to do, yep, Nick, it sounds like I think it's just you. You know, you could actually, like I said, you could go through here, and the elements that you're going to want in order to dominate the local SERPs are so freaking easy. All right? And I'm just going to mix things up a little bit. Give me another LSI, Jake.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention, sorry.
Another LSI of for dog training, puppy,
There's
canine.
Stop your dog from barking, or stop your dog from peeing or marking. Marking is a good one.
Oh, here. Mouse breaking your canine.
Your puppy.
The canine and your puppy. That's fine.
Sex changes for dogs. Puppy socialization is a great one.
And Bridgeport. Okay, so you get the idea right off the bat, all right? Your only elements that you need, okay, you're going to want to have, obviously, a title tag with your keyword and location, all right? You're going to want to have your title tag is going to be your H1, so you're going to want H2, H3, and we love to throw in an H4 just for good measure, okay? In each H tag, put a variation of the location, okay? And an LSI keyword, okay? Picture with an alt image, throw in a video, and throw in a link to the Google map. Just embed the map right onto the site, okay? You can also throw in the schema markup if you actually, for location, which is gigantic, all right? And you will actually own SERP after SERP after SERP after SERP. Now, if just so you know, dominating the SERP is different than a private blog network. Okay, you can actually take your private blog network and link it to each one of these, because technically each one of these are going to be one of your money sites. Okay, but that is literally how you dominate the SERPs. Okay, because then you could throw double agent right on top of it and create a traffic funnel to wherever you want it to go. I know that other people talk about dominating the SERPs with videos. They like to talk about dominating the SERPs with your Facebook page and a Yelp page and this, and that's great. But guess what? That traffic doesn't automatically funnel to you.
It doesn't convert either.
And it really doesn't convert at all.
It's nothing like having an entire SERP all going back to your money
if
site.
you guys have never seen an entire SERP going back to your money site, I'll give you a really quick heads up. I actually had my manager for one of my offline businesses. He actually hit me up yesterday, and he was like, dude, he's like, things got really quiet overnight. Like, what the hell happened? And I realized that the URL shortener that I was using was actually was one of our own URL shorteners that we actually created. And that site had gone down, so all those sites had actually broke. And he actually called me up, and he was like, dude, all of a sudden, I went through and I filled out the quotes just to make sure that the quotes were coming through. We thought something was broken. And, can you double check it? And then I checked it, and I realized, holy cow, I broke it myself. Went in there, popped in my Bitly links, which I should have done at the beginning, and right off the bat, he called me back like not that much longer after we had spoken, and I already knew it because I get the emails of every quote that comes through, every request for a quote that comes through, and he was like, holy cow, dude, it was like you just turned the light switch back on, and that's literally what you can do, like I said, by owning that SERP. You want to own the SERP with a video, that's great. You know what? And you got to wait for somebody to click on that link in order to go back to your site and pray that somebody does it. If you want to do it this way, you actually just funnel anybody that comes to your website. And I'll tell you, there is nothing quite like when somebody clicks on the first result and says, oh, okay, this is the site, and they back out into Google, go to the second result, and it brings them to the same site, and the third result, and the fourth result, and the fifth result, and they're all just going right back to the same site. Person's finally like, obviously this is the site I need to go to. We actually had somebody contact us and was like, dude, what the hell? What's going on here? All right, so with that aside, let's get back to what we were actually talking about, because I get sidetracked pretty easily. Yeah, we can show you. You know what, Dale? We'll go into the example of the Bitly links after. Showing up for, okay, here. You know what? I normally don't give this out here. Let me just show you here real fast. All you guys know that I have an online business where I do custom pins, right? So here, custom lapel pins. Let's use the Bronx, okay? All right. So let me just show this to you. Once again, I usually don't show this, but here, like I own this guy here, this guy here. I don't own the yellow pages, although I wish I did. I own this guy. I don't own this guy. I own this guy. I own this guy. I own this guy. And I don't own this one, and I don't own this. So I own actually 6 out of 10 on this one. Okay? If I did, here, let me do Newburgh for Tim, right? Newburgh, New York. So actually, wow, somebody got me for the first 2 ones, right? But I own, once again, I own number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. So, I mean, that's like an example of just showing you just a ridiculous amount of search results. Yeah, we really own all of it. Here, you want to see? Yeah, I'm going to go here. I'm going to show you. Boom, goes to my website, okay? And I can prove to you that it's my website because my ugly freaking mug is right here on the bottom of the page, all right? All right, so there's that. Let's go with this one. Ah, shit, you see, this is one that I missed. Let me just take this one. And I got to put that one down. You see, I didn't get all of them, guys. Okay, brings me right here. Brings me back again. Hold on. Brings me back again. All right, so you believe me, right? Okay, we believe me. All right, good. So, right, exactly. Mark, you're 100% right. And you know what? Once again, you guys know that I don't pitch stuff. We've discussed it. I kind of sound like a dead, like a broken record on it. But Surf Shaker, a really good friend of mine, Don and I have been really good friends for years, okay? And actually, a little secret, hopefully with a little bit of coaxing, I actually went up to Lake George with the family, and I met up with Don. Don lives not too far, and I've been trying to coax Don as far as coming on board with Seme, getting his podcast here and just being a regular person on the site. And I think that we've been able to nail that down. But obviously his launch of Surf Shaker is going to be going next week, and then after that we're going to regroup. So. Surf Shaker is freaking awesome because basically all you do is you load up your spun content right into Surf Shaker. You create what they call short codes, and it actually builds out the entire site for you. Okay, so you don't have to do this one off, okay? But I wanted to show you guys how to do it because if you don't know how to do it the hard way, you never appreciate the really easy way, all right? And I also promised you guys that I would show it to you. And also you need it for your private blog networks and just having the tool of being able to spin out and get good content whenever the hell you need it, it's just like invaluable, all right? So are we all feeling pretty good about the, look at me, I'm just clicking on things right now. Are we all feeling pretty good about the spun content issue for your private blog networks? Everybody feel pretty good about it? There's going to be a replay on this just in case, you guys need this. Surf Shaker and Cloudflare, all sorts of good stuff, right? All right, so everybody, I'm not getting anybody who's like completely lost right now, so we're all feeling good. All right, so now that we know how to create this content, and obviously I'm not going to show you how to post it onto your blog because if you don't know how to do that at this point, then, I don't know, get a job painting or something, right? So, post it into your blog. If you really have a hard time, and I'm being a little mean right now, just hit me up in a PM and say, listen, dude, I don't know how to do it, and we'll try and walk you through it. All right, but so post it into your private blog network. Now, this is the thing. Most people, the biggest mistake, it's not just the unique content, all right, because this whole webinar was supposed to be on creating the content, getting the content, and then actually linking it properly back to your site. Now, there's a lot of people out there with a lot of theories, and, as I always say, theories are like assholes. Everybody has one, and they stink, okay? Unless you've gone out and you've really tested it, unless you've really tried it, I only go forward with things that we've tested in and out, okay? And I'm going to show you right now the linking structure of what we do, all right? Link structure. First thing is you don't want to leave a footprint, all right? We've discussed this in the past, and your backlinking strategy is usually the biggest footprint that you could possibly leave, okay, outside of your hosting, and your servers, all right? Your backlinking profile right now is what Google's looking at so heavily it's not even funny right now. So,
with that said, download the new Seme plugin.
Yeah, and with that said, guys, the new Seme plugin is in. Go download that, upload it to all your sites.
Removed a lot of footprints.
It removed a lot of the footprints that were if there were any footprints that Google was going to pick up on, they've all been removed. So, just a little plug for ourselves here. All right, so now you've got a private blog network, right? We have 10 private blogs. All those people that say, don't use any anchor text. Well, you know what? They're freaking wrong, okay? But the problem is that you can't use the anchor text the way that we used to anymore, all right? If you're going to use one anchor text going back to your website, it sure as hell should be within a site that you control and a site that really has authority. So if I have 10 private blogs and one of them's a PR5, you better damn well believe that that's the one that's going to get my anchor text going back to my site, okay?
So we're sharing a screen share of the presentation right now. Do you want to end your screen share?
Yeah, I can end the screen share. That works. You know, guys, I get so into it, and sometimes, you know,
I just realized
that's what happens.
A window and a window here. Is the screen share over?
It's trying to end.
Yeah, I just minimized it for everyone.
All right, there we go. We should be good.
You guys do that.
Yep. Hold on 1 second. All right, you guys still see my screen, right? All right, good.
You're good.
Okay, so biggest thing is we're never using the same anchor text twice. Period, the end. Okay, we're just not going to use the same anchor text twice.
Bad guys.
I'm getting dizzy. So this is the real down and dirty of if I had 10 PBNs, okay, and I'm using the number 10 because it's just an easy number to be able to break up, okay. So I'm going to use one link is going to be anchor text, okay? Not exact match. If I'm trying to rank for dog training, Bridgeport, Connecticut, maybe it would be, you know, puppy training, you know, Bridgeport CT or something like that, but it's going to be really freaking close, okay? The next anchor text that I'm going to use, it's going to be a completely different anchor text, and it's going to be much longer, okay? It's going to be, you know, one of the best places to get your puppy trained near Bridgeport, okay? Something like that, and make that whole long sentence your backlink going back to your blog, okay? The next 3 links I'm going to do, I want to mix in a couple of generics, okay? Because if you look at any legitimate links going back to a website, they will talk about a website and they will say, here, read more about it here, more information, or the company name or whatever else. Just absolute, just natural, okay? So about 3 of my links are going to be that. The rest of them, 5 of them, are just going to be naked URLs. Now, a lot of people ask me, what the hell is a naked URL, okay? So a naked URL is actually just that. It's your URL without any sort of anchor text, at all, you know, linked to it. So it would be your http://www, yourdomain.com, without the www, without anything, without the http://, with the www, all sorts of different variations, because when people link back to your website naturally, they always screw up the way that you have it, whether it be a canonical or non-canonical or whatever else, okay? Google understands that enough and will give you credit. Years ago, they didn't. So, like, when you were linking, you really had to make sure that you kind of nailed it spot on, right? You don't need to worry about that anymore. As long as you have your canonical set up in WordPress, you're fine. You know, and WordPress basically handles that for you. So, you know, if anybody has any question, yeah, Google is just so hot on anchor text. That was what the whole Penguin update was all about. It was all about anchor text and anchor text ratios and everything else, okay? How many links do you suggest per PBN to your money site? Listen, you're only going to link, if you have one, you're only going to link once from one site back to your money site, and that site is done. You know, you don't want to have 2 or 3 links going back to the same website. One link, you are done, okay? You can link out to 3 different properties if you want to, all right? So, for instance, if you were trying to, if you had other properties in reference to dog training and you were trying to, let's say, get 2 other properties up onto that page as well, that's fine, okay? But you want one link, all right? We used to do 3 links, you know, one was an anchor text, one was a naked URL, and one was like a generic. That shit's out the window. It just doesn't work. We'll actually get you penalized, okay? One link. That's it. All right? So now, the way that you're going to point your links, because this is usually the next question that everybody do. You know, pointing links back to your money site, all right? It is absolutely 1,000% not natural. I mean, I always try and use the example of CNN, okay? If anybody wants to take a look at Majestic or Ahrefs in reference to CNN and take a look about how many backlinks they have, right? They have millions upon millions upon millions of backlinks. how many backlinks are going to their main page? How many backlinks are going to their internal pages? I would say that most of the backlinks are going to their internal pages, all right? When most people link to an article, naturally, they link to the actual article that they want somebody to read. Not like, hey, I read a really cool article on Semeezy.com about how to get free content and stuff. And here, you can read it at Semeezy.com, all right? Well, that's not really how people link. Okay, they link to that specific article, right? And if your website's set up properly, what you should be doing is 50% of the links to your homepage, 50% of the links to different internals on your page, different internal URLs on your page, all right? So don't be afraid to link to an internal page, okay? That link juice is still going to flow through your site, okay? Right. If your silos are set up right, and even if your silos aren't set up like 100%, the link juice still flows into your site. All right. The silos just make it that much more effective. Okay. And I put right underneath here, ensure your silos are in place. It depends on how many pages, Steve. Like I said, a manual silo is so easy to create, especially if you're going to create a relatively thin website, 5-10 pages, all right? And your private blog network also should have some content on there that has absolutely no links leaving from it. There is nothing worse that Google looks at a blog, any blog, and every single article has a link. It's not natural, okay? So, at some point we will have some silo software coming out, but I'm not committing ourselves to that at all. We have a huge project coming up over the next month or two. And what's it called? We're not going to commit ourselves to that right this second, but yes, we actually got a couple of really cool things. And we actually got a couple of really cool things that are coming out. So, what else is there? All right. So, like I said, you got to watch that anchor text ratio. Okay. You've got to watch where those links are pointing to. And yes, we've ranked websites with no follow. Absolutely, we have. But I don't recommend it. Like I said, outside of a handful of private blog networks, okay, or private blogs, if you will, because your network is all of them combined, it doesn't take much. And honestly, less is more in reference to ranking in Google right now, all right? Our big joke, Jake and I were like, yep, our SEO strategy is we're going to hang around and let our competitors continue to fall in the rankings because they're trying to optimize the crap out of themselves, okay? And we're going to rise up just out of default, right? In some cases, that's exactly what happens. You've got to stay out of the penalty box, all right? And that's your number one priority is to stay out of the penalty box. And just by doing something stupid, you'll get yourself put into the penalty box. The cool thing is that most people think as soon as they get put into the penalty box, they're there forever. Most of them are algorithmic penalties. Go back in there, and that's why the private blog network works so well, because you can just remove some of those links or change up the anchor text ratios, and then you're right back in good graces again. It's the manual penalties you got to look out for. All right, so that is kind of, yeah, absolutely. That is kind of it. You guys are all set. Now, I know that there were a couple of questions that I said I was going to answer, but I want to start with suggestions on PBNs to SLL sites. I highly recommend not doing it, and the reason being is that the SLL site should just be one part of your whole overall SEO strategy, in my personal opinion. So I would rather use my private blog network to link to the money site that I want to rank versus linking it to, an SLL site.
If you have disposable PBNs.
I mean, if you have absolutely disposable PBNs, or, if you're going to just pump the living heck out of, something through RankWiz or whatever else, that's fine. Go ahead and do it. No problem. But, I say that, the private blog network is going to cost you a lot. And, it's not worth, I think doing it that way. That's just my own personal opinion. Does anybody else have any questions on this topic? And then we'll jump into like sort of a more open. And I know that Jake's got a couple of cool things that he might want to share with you. Anyone? Bueller. Actually, I just spoke to a buddy of mine. He was actually in Ferris Bueller. He was actually in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He's He's a photographer, but he was actually the detective at the end of it. The Asian detective that was in the office when Ferris's mother had to show up and bail out his sister. So I actually just spoke to him, which was kind of reminded me of the whole Ferris. All right, guys. Any other questions? I don't want to keep you guys here too long because you know that I like to talk. I knew that there was one question that I did say that I'll get to that at the end, but I don't remember what it was. If you're asking if my PBNs got hit with Panda or Penguin, no, not at all. Bitly links, yeah. You know what, Dale? Let me show you Bitly links real fast. Okay, hold on one second. Shoot, let me just do this. All right, so how the whole Bitly link process works, right? So I'm gonna share my screen again. Full screen. Okay, so let me just do this real fast on the screen here. Okay, so basically how it works is, that's easy, but I shouldn't try and write in white. Okay, so this is, let's say, my double agent web, the website that has double agent installed. This is the website that I want to link to, my money website. And Bitly kind of falls right here in the middle, okay? And it's what I call a buffer, all right? And you guys should know for obvious reasons. All right, so what's going on here is this. So this is my double agent site. What I want to do is this. Let's say if I'm going to go to bit.ly.com.
You're not sharing your screen, by the way.
I'm not sharing my screen. I should be sharing it.
Oh, no, you are. Okay, never mind. I lied.
Okay, so I'm going to go to Bitly right here, okay, and you're going to sign in for an account, and then I'm going to put in, okay, if I want to rank, I want to make a Bitly to Semeezy.com, okay? And I'm going to click on shorten it. Now that's easy enough, right? You go to bit.ly.com, you put in the URL that you want to point it to. All right? I'm going to copy this link, and this link is going to be put into my double agent, okay? It's going to be put right into my double agent. I don't have a double agent account right now that I can log into without like exposing all of my my stuff. But let me just go here, okay? So this link, I'm going to put this over here. This link gets pointed. This is the link to my money site. So this link is going to get copied and pasted right into my double agent. Because now what happens is this: a visitor comes to my website where double agent is installed. The Bitly link is triggered, okay, and it pushes them right to my money site, okay. And I'll show you what it looks like. So if this link is in there, and they click on this, it brings them right to Semeezy.com. And if you sign up for an account, it'll give you the tracking and everything else that goes with it, okay? Hopefully, I explained that. Okay, Dale, did I nail that okay for you? Make a little bit more sense? And maybe what I'll do is I'll create like a training video on it or something. Anyone? Oh yeah, I mean, if I want to, I can create multiple Bitly links, or what I can do is I can use the same Bitly link in multiple locations. It doesn't matter. That really doesn't set up any sort of footprint, at least not that we found. Actually, I mean, just with the example that I showed you before, That's all the same exact bit.ly link, and the reason I do that is so I can track how much traffic is coming through that entire funnel. All right, guys, anything else? Anyone else? Are we good? All right, I guess we are good. And with that said, party time tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to throw that out there right now. Guys, we have a little launch party going tomorrow. You know, it's not going to be, we're going to launch it out to, you know, just a bunch of people. Those of you that are obviously premium members, we would love you guys to stop by. We would love you guys to stop by and check it out. But we're going to be giving away a ton of free stuff. We're going to be giving away, you know, free memberships. We're going to be giving away free memberships to Seme. We're going to be giving away free memberships to. We're actually going to be giving away a free Surf Landlord membership, right, Jake?
Yeah, we are.
We're going to be giving away some cash prizes.
We got like
Surf Shaker. You know, obviously it didn't launch yet, but we're going to be giving away a whole bunch of licenses to Surf Shaker. No RB Spider. R8. I'm sorry, no R8. Dude, you can see that my eyes are starting to go blurry after this amount of time. No R8 Spider, but you know, maybe I'll give you an RB Spider. What do you think? I don't know what the hell that is, but it doesn't matter.
It's Audi. Yeah, an RB. Wait, an RB?
You say I'm not going to give you an R8 Spider, but
I'll give you an RB Spider.
Oh, okay.
Here, ready? I'm going to give you an RB Spider right here. There's my RB Spider. And that's about the best that I can give you. But either way,
you need 2 more legs.
No, that's why it's an RB. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign off. But listen, you guys jump in tomorrow. The prizes are completely open to premium members. And what we would ask is, listen, we're trying to grow the community. So if you have some positive feedback, jump in there tomorrow. And
you got nothing nice to say, don't come.
Yeah, and if you hate us, then stay home. That's cool too. But if you do like us, you know, like I said, jump in there because people are going to have questions. You know, a lot of people are hesitant. You know, they're tired of getting pitched crap over and over again. And to be honest with you, that's the reason why we kind of started this, was because we got tired of getting pitched the same crap too. Time tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. All right. No cookie. Yeah, all day long. All day long. All right, guys, with that being said, I'm going to sign off, and I will see you guys then. Thanks for showing up.